lately, and because I'm in Ohio, set up, so I figured I would do reactions to different things. So this time I was live, we were live at the Ohio Reformatory, home of the Shawshank Redemption Prison. Today we're somewhere different. Today we're at Triangle Park in Dayton, Ohio. Now, what's special about this park and why we chose this park today was very easy. This is the site of the very first NFL game. It took place, I think, October 20th, 1920. I think it is. Yeah. So in 1920, Carl Stork was a team manager and attended the first NFL organizational meeting. Now, October 3rd, 1920, so I was wrong, it was October 3rd, 1920, the Dayton Triangles hosted the first NFL game here at Triangle Park in Ohio, where they actually beat the Columbus Panhandles 14-0. And imagine, just think about this, guys. You pull off this main road, you turn into here, and you come into this parking lot. At that time, the cost of this game was $1.75 for admission to this game in 1920. So, and I think the stadium held 5,000 people. So they made about, I don't know, close to 10 grand for 1920 for hosting it. So I think this is pretty cool to actually come somewhere that's full of history. So, like I said, this is the site of the first ever NFL game. And just to picture this parking lot full of people. This probably wasn't a parking lot. It's probably, what do you think? Do you think this was probably like a dirt road?
Yeah, dirt road, grass field.
And that's where everybody was at. So you would park here. And now we're going to head over to where the field is. The thing that is different nowadays to what it was in 1920 was this was just a plain grass field. Now, this field is a baseball field called Howell Field. But back in 1920, it was just an empty grass field. And there's two markers that'll show you where it's at, where you're at. So the first marker is right up there. And we'll show that to you here briefly. The next one is about 150 feet, 120 feet that way, where it'll actually tell you this was the site of the first NFL game. So we're walking up over it. You can kind of see some baseball lights, which will show you you're at Howell Field. So we're walking up to the first marker.
And a random.
So this is the artillery memorial dedicated to D Battery from I think the First World War. And you come up here and you get your first sign. Pretty cool, huh? First ever football game was played right there. So we're gonna come around this way. There's supposed to be another marker, I think over there, right?
Yeah.
That we'll check out. Pretty cool. But these guys, you gotta remember, these dudes were tough dudes that played in 1920. I don't even think they wore the leather helmets back there. But this is the site of the first NFL game.
And most of them actually started as basketball players.
So my wife did a lot of the research for this video, and she said the very first, a lot of the players were not rugby players like I would think rugby, right?
Right.
Rugby players? No, they were basketball players. So, Highway 4 in Dayton, on, and you can't miss it. You just have to look in Triangle Park. But look at these bleachers. They're still so old.
They had canvas, except the higher tickets, which were $2, were actually leather.
So now it's called Howell Field, but back then it was just Triangle Park. I think it was just a empty park.
Oh look,
And then you can see some of the old mason work that was done here. Probably old as hell.
Boston Valley block.
Portsmouth building. This is pretty damn cool. But remember, these guys were basketball players, just regular Joes that would play here. These are probably, and they were, and you know, back then there was no rules. I bet you they were kicking each other's ass. I could just imagine being at this field, 1920, the crowd roaring. Probably not many people because, you know, this is the first of anything. And it was $1.75 a ticket, which I don't know. Maybe you guys know what is $1.75 in 1920. What is like maybe $20, $30 to come watch it. But they replaced it with Howell Field, named after a judge. Now the first NFL player to score, his name was Lou Parlow. He was from Dayton. Now you got to remember the Dayton Triangles are still around today. The Dayton Triangles are still around today. They just go by a different team. They went by different names because after the 1920 season, they moved to Brooklyn, where they became the Brooklyn Dodgers. So the Brooklyn Dodgers, or the Major League Baseball, shared a name with the pro NFL team called the Brooklyn Dodgers. And I think they only lasted there maybe 1 or 2 seasons before they moved to
Brooklyn Tigers.
They changed their name to the Brooklyn Tigers, probably because of a dispute with the Brooklyn NFL team. Then they went bankrupt, and after they went bankrupt, they changed their name. They got bought out by the NFL, and the NFL changed their name or sold them to another person who then renamed them the Indianapolis Colts. So they're still, or the Baltimore Colts, who are now the Indianapolis Colts. It's kind of weird to me that the Indianapolis Colts don't want to share in the history, because if you look into the history of the Indianapolis Colts, they don't share that name. They don't have any of the history for the Dayton Triangles, which to me is like, that's kind of weird, don't you think? Wouldn't you want that history, being the first NFL team to win a game? It just blows my mind that you would want that history. I think you'd want that history, but it would be this field. So the stands are there. You come down. You got all this space here. Now it's a baseball field called Howell. But there it is. There's the sign. Just think about it. We're standing on, I would say, hollowed ground. Like, if you're a football fan and you love football, this is somewhere you'd want to go. This is somewhere you would want to go, wouldn't you?
Hollowed ground, especially with why the NFL couldn't get money. You were saying earlier.
Oh yeah, so we were doing a little research on this. So the NFL was going to invest a ton of money. The NFL was going to invest a ton of money in this field, in this area, to bring back the history. And I think the Cincinnati Bengals were going to start doing some practice fields here at Triangle Park, and it was in honor of the 100th anniversary. Well, some Native Americans then sued the NFL. All that money that was wasted because aerial ground, which I understand. I wish Ohio would clean up the sign, but I'm going to show you the evidence that this is the site of the very first NFL game. Crazy. So George Hobby Kinderman was the first extra point maker, but this is it. This is the site of the first NFL game. It's, to me, it's crazy that it happened here. I thought it was in Canton. She's deep in thought.
Oh, sorry. No, because it said there were the triangles because it was where the two rivers came. But right here was saying that the three factories formed a industrial triangle of plants as well. So
Double triangle.
yeah. But this history is good with the movie
Yeah.
that's about to come out.
There is a movie coming out in November. November 1st on Amazon Prime that they're going to go over the full history of this park and how it involved women's suffrage. There was a lot of stuff that happened in this park. But to me, I'm an NFL fan. I like football. This is where it got its start, man. The Indianapolis Colts technically got their start right here in this field. The Indianapolis Colts won the first football game right here in this field, and they were the leatherheads back then, man, because they had no face mask. It was just probably a piece of leather. And actually, probably in that game, let me know if you guys know, they probably didn't even wear anything. It was probably rugby with a little bit of different set of rules. But can you just picture it? Just not a fence, not a gate, not anything to stop you people with $1.75. $1.75, and you could have partaken in history of the NFL just right here in this field. $1.75, and you could have caught the first NFL game. You could have saw the first touchdown, the first extra point, all from probably just right there, just on the grass somewhere. It's just, to me, I love history, and this is it, man. This is the birthplace of the NFL. I thought it was always Canton, Ohio, but it's not. It's right here, because I don't really consider where you sat there and had meetings and talked things over to be the birthplace of something. I think where the first blood was shed, where the first touchdown was scored, the first extra point, the first shutout. Dude, think about that. The first shutout in NFL history happened right here.
It was, yeah.
It's not. It's funny. I should have been wearing an Indianapolis Colts hat for this.
Yeah. I mean, I would have divorced you, but.
But right here in Dayton, Ohio. But let me know your guys' thoughts on it. Do you think this would be a good place to come check out? Would you want to come check out, if you're a football fan, this area, just to see what it was like to step back into history, 1920? Let me know in the comments, guys. But I'm going to head out. I just thought I would share that. I think we're going to do, we got a map of Ohio stuff to do in Ohio. And I think on the community tab, I'm going to place some stuff that you guys can vote on. We could go check out. That's around here in Ohio. We're even close to Detroit. It was just a few hours from Detroit. So let me know what you guys think, man. Let me know if you like football and if this is something you'd want to come see live. I hope you all have a good day. God bless. And as always, deuces.